So here we are back together again. I hope you are feeling good today. Yes, we are outside and the weather is, well, I'm not sure what the weather is like today. It's a little warm. It's also a little cloudy, but sometimes it's very sunny and very hot. But I'm not quite sure if the weather can actually make up its mind today. So we will see what happens anyway. I hope you are feeling good today. We are back once more. Yes, English Addict is with you slightly later than usual. I'm sorry about that, but we are outside and I hope you are feeling good today. Yes, we are coming to you live, not only outside, but also from the birthplace of the English language, which just happens to be, oh my goodness, England. Oh, ooh. Here we go. Hi everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy? I hope you are feeling very good today. We are outside and already I am very aware that there are small insects nibbling at certain parts of my body, and it does feel rather weird, to be honest with you. Ooh, yes. Yes, that's definitely doing something at the moment. Oh, get out of my shorts, you naughty insect. Here we go then. Yes, we are back together. My name is Duncan. I talk about English. I've been doing this for a long time. Some people say that I've been doing it for too long. Some people say, Mr. Duncan, you should give up. You should stop doing it. You should find something else to do with your time. Talking of which, it is 2:15 here in England. I don't know what time it is where you are because I'm not there, you see. I'm here, live in the garden. Yes, this is real. So behind me, this is not a green screen effect. This is the real thing today. We have the real outdoor scenery and also the sounds as well. You might be able to hear the birds singing in the trees. What a beautiful sound it is. So why are we here together, I hear you ask? In fact, you are shouting out of your window right now. Well, the reason why I'm here is to talk about English. I love English. You might say that I am an English addict. You see, that's why I call my live stream English Addict, because we are all a little bit crazy about English, including me as well. So that's what we're doing today. We have lots of things to talk about, of course. I suppose I should mention the one thing that is happening. It might also be the reason why we might not have many people here today, because there is a big distraction taking place right here in the UK. No, I'm not talking about the G7 summit, although that has been, as usual, very dull and very boring, to be honest. That's all I'm saying about that. I'm sure Mr. Steve will have something to say about it later on. But yes, today it is the day when England play their first match, I believe, in the Euro 2020. Euro 2020. Wait a minute. Isn't it 2021 now? I thought we were in 2021. What's happening? I'm having a very strange feeling of déjà vu. But of course, yes, it was postponed from last year because of coronavirus. But today the Euro match between England and Croatia is taking place. I have a feeling there might be a lot of people distracted, and today, yes, we will be talking about football a little bit. We have some sport words in the sentence game as well. Also, another question will be concerning a very personal thing. Do you mind if I get personal with you. I hope not. Today we are talking about cosmetic surgery as well. Would you ever have cosmetic surgery? Have you ever thought of having a certain part of your body made smaller or larger or a different shape, perhaps? That is something else we are talking about. Yes, as I mentioned, football is happening at the moment, and a lot of people are talking about it. In fact, you might say today's live stream is a load of balls. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. We might be doing that a lot today. So today's live stream is a load of balls, a load of footballs. We have the sentence game connected to words, connected with sport. I hope you are going to enjoy that. If not, I'm very sorry about it. I will try my best. Here we go then, and I suppose the first thing I should say is that we have made it all the way through another week and almost another weekend. I wonder who will win the football match today. Will it be England or Croatia? We will have to wait and find out. Of course, it is Sunday. I'm just putting my reading glasses on. I've just realised that I'm wearing the wrong glasses. Okay, that's better. I can actually see now. That is much better. Oh yes, there you are. The problem is, you see, I'm getting old. I'm not the young person I used to be. I'm getting old. And one of the things that is happening to me as I get older is my eyesight isn't as good as it used to be, you see. So I have to wear my reading glasses. You might be able to hear behind me and all around us at the moment. The sheep are calling, the lambs are sounding a little scared. I have a feeling they might be a little scared of this, you see, because who knows what's going to happen over the next hour and 40 minutes. Who knows? Yes, we have Mr. Steve here later on. He will be here with us, sharing some of his wonderful moments from his last week. I bet you can't wait to hear about that. By the way, we found out what the problem was with Mr. Steve's skin. Do you remember last week I showed you some photographs of Mr. Steve's spotty body? Well, we had a result. And one of the wonderful things now, if you have anything wrong with you, something that can be seen, you can actually send a photograph of the thing to your doctor. I love technology so much. So you don't really have to go to the doctor anymore. If it is something that can be seen, maybe you have a lump or a boil or maybe a strange rash on your body, or in Mr. Steve's case, Mr. Steve had spots. So all he did, he sent a picture of some of the spots on his body to his doctor, and the doctor gave him a diagnosis. So later we will be finding out what were Mr. Steve's spots. What were they? Why was Mr. Steve covered in spots last week? We will find out later on. So there might be some strange sounds around me. If you are not familiar with this live stream, I do my live stream every week. Sometimes I'm in the studio, but today I'm outside with all of the beautiful sounds of nature. You can hear the lambs in the distance. Oh, we also have the live chat. I can't forget you. How can I forget you? That's crazy. That's terrible. That's so rude. I'm very sorry about that. I can't forget you, of course, because you are here now chatting on the live stream. But the big question is, who was first on today's live chat, I wonder? Was it Vitas? I don't think so. I have a feeling maybe that Vitas is watching the football. I think so. So who was it? Oh, hello, Mosen. Congratulations to you, Mosen. Guess what? You are first on today's live chat. I have all sorts of animals, insects, buzzing and calling and tweeting around me. So I hope you are enjoying not only the sights but also the sounds of the English countryside on this Sunday afternoon. Who else do we have today? Oh, can I say hello to Luis Mendez? Hello, Luis. Nice to see you back as well. We have Richard, Sandra. We also have Wafay. Hello, Wafay. Nice to see you back as well. Also, we have Intelligent. Nice to see you back. Rosa, JC Geordie. Hello, JC Geordie. Wow. That's incredible. I can't remember the last time I saw you on my live stream. It seems like a very long time ago. Where have you been? We have missed you. Pedro, last week, put forward a very interesting question on the live chat. He asked me if there are any of the live chatters that I remember from the past. So I know that some of you have been watching me for many years, but also some of you have been watching for a very short time, for which I say welcome to all of this, whatever it is. But yes, there are many people who used to watch me a lot. But yes, so if you can remember any of the participants in the live chat, please let me know and I will try to refresh my memory. But yes, there are many of you who have been watching for a long time, for many years, and I always feel very happy when you join in. I always feel a little bit humble, to be honest. Hello also to Sandra. Grace is here as well. I am saying hello to Grace. Hello to you. Nice to see you here as well. We also have Monisa. And also we have Alessandra as well. Wow, so many people joining in with today's live chat. I wasn't sure, you see. I was not sure how many people would be here today because there is a big distraction with the football. As you may or may not have noticed, I am not a big follower of football. I'm not. N Duo says, I love football. You are a football fan. I get the feeling you like football very much. Hello also to... Oh, Pedro is here. Hello to Pedro. Apparently, I don't know why, but Pedro is in a very good mood. And I don't know why. I'm just wondering. Why are you in such a good mood, Pedro? Can you please let us in on your secret? We would like to know very much. So one of the questions we are asking today... And as I mentioned a few moments ago, I am getting older. I'm not a young person. In 5 years, well, in fact, let me just think. No, in 4 years from now, I will be as old as Mr. Steve is now. So 4 years from now, I will be approaching the same birthday, the same age as Mr. Steve is now. So you know what happens as you get older? Your body starts to change in certain ways. And we are not talking about puberty or adolescence. We are talking about something entirely different. What I mean, of course, is old age. As you get older, your skin starts to change. You might put weight on. You might have to make a few alterations to your appearance. One of the things I've noticed, one of the big changes I've noticed with my body is hair. Hair. In the places where I want my hair, I'm losing it. But in the places where I don't want hair, I'm gaining it. So that's very strange. I'm getting hair in places where I never used to have it. I'm not going to tell you where, but I'm sure you can guess. I'm sure you can guess. Beatrice, hello Beatrice. Thank you very much. Your garden looks special today. Very colourful. It looks lovely. Congratulations to Mr. Steve on his hard work. Yes, Steve has been busy in the garden today. We will be finding out in a few minutes what Mr. Steve has been up to. He's been a very busy boy. When I looked out of the window earlier, Steve was busy sawing some big pieces of wood. So we will find out what that is all about as well. Plastic surgery. Cosmetic surgery. Would you ever have it? And also we have the sentence game. Don't forget, I haven't left that out. Even though we are outside, we do have the sentence game. And as I mentioned, we have some words and phrases connected to what some people describe as the beautiful game. The beautiful game that is football. One of the many things we are talking about today. Now we'll take a break. Here is an excerpt from one of my full English lessons, where we talk all about things that are cold and things that are hot. Oh, look at me. I'm really going up in the world today. I'm climbing the ladder of success. I'm heading to the top. You might describe me as a social climber. Let's just hope I don't slide back down to the bottom again, or even worse, fall head first. Hi everybody and welcome to another full English lesson. I'm really enjoying the view from up here. Can you see me waving to you? I hope so. Here I am once more talking to you from the birthplace of the English language, which is of course England. So without any more dawdling or dilly-dallying, let's get on with today's full English lesson, which will start around about now. If there's one thing I've learned about English, it's that quite often the simplest words have the most meanings. For example, you have the words hot and cold. In its most common sense, the word hot describes something that is of high temperature. It is holding a high degree of heat. It might be dangerous to touch or drink. Don't go near the stove, it's hot. Can you open a window? It's hot in here. The word hot can be used in other ways too. Something that is popular or fashionable can be described as hot. Something that is in high demand might be described as the hottest thing around. Cycling has become the latest hot health routine. This toy is going to be the hottest item in the shops this Christmas. Something that might generate a lot of interest can be described as hot. We have some new hot properties to show you. As an idiom, something might be too hot to handle. This means that the thing in question should be avoided, or at least handled with care. We can't discuss that topic here. It's too hot to handle for us. In a stressful situation where you are under a lot of pressure, we might say that the heat is on. The heat is on for the sales force to reach their targets. You can feel the heat, which means to be involved in a risky or high-stakes situation. An attractive person might be hot. There were some hot models at this year's fashion show. Heat can be used as a verb to describe the action of introducing heat to something. You must heat the soup before serving it. As a slang word, the word heat can mean the police. As part of a phrase, we can use heat. To do something in the heat of the moment means to act in a spontaneous or unprepared way, normally in reaction to something. You do something in the heat of the moment. A stolen item that is being passed around can be described as hot. I wouldn't buy any jewellery from him, it's all hot. A person who often loses their temper can be described as a hothead. The word cold can also be used in many ways. An unwelcoming response might be described as cold. To be underwhelmed by something can often create a cold response. His performance was greeted with cold silence. The feeling of being repulsed or offended by something can be described as cold. You feel upset and put off by what you saw or heard. His humour throughout the evening left me feeling cold. You can give someone a cold stare. You look at them with disapproval and disdain. As an expression, you might give someone the cold shoulder. To shun someone or to choose to ignore a person directly is to give the cold shoulder. He tried to approach me after dinner, but I gave him the cold shoulder. To make something cold, you need to cool it. The word cool can be used to describe a period in which you can change your mind about something. A cooling off period is often allowed so as to give time for a person to consider what they have done. The holiday booking allows you a cooling off period of 14 days. This means that you have 2 weeks in which to change your mind. You might go off the idea. You cool off. The word cool can be used to describe something that creates excitement or is seen as impressive. Something is cool. That's a cool bike you've got there. For younger people, this particular expression might appear old-fashioned and not cool. During a criminal investigation, an inquiry that has no new leads might be described as having gone cold. An unsolved crime that occurred many years ago can be described as a cold case. A cold thing can also be described as chilled. As an idiom, you can chill out or just chill. To relax and unwind is to chill. I think I'll just stay in tonight and chill in front of the television. General negativity from a person can be described as chilly. My new ideas for the next meeting were met with a chilly response. The phrase "come in from the cold" means to return to a place or group that had previously rejected you. You are welcome back and forgiven. You have come in from the cold. Can you see what I'm doing here? I'm trying to find something to watch on television. Sometimes it is hard to find something good to watch. I often spend many hours trying to find a decent show to watch. I often flick
through the channels in the desperate attempt to find something that catches my eye. You flick through the channels. You flip through the channels. You scan up and down the channels. Many years ago, we used to have to get up and go over to the TV to change the channel. These days, we can use the remote control. This item can cause a lot of annoyance and frustration, as it often gets mislaid. Has anyone seen the TV remote? It was here on the sofa earlier, but now it's gone. The TV remote is used to control all the functions of the television set, including the sound level and picture controls. The sound level is called the volume. You can turn up the volume to increase the sound level, and turn down the volume if the sound level is too high or too loud. In this case, the word volume simply means amount or quantity. The level is the volume which controls the amount of sound coming from the TV. A person who likes flicking through the TV channels can be described as a channel hopper. If a person watches TV all the time, then we might describe them as a telly addict. Telly is another word for a television set. A television can also be called the goggle box. The word goggle refers to a person's eyes staring at the flickering picture, and box refers to the shape of the TV. Although these days many TV sets are actually flat and take up very little space. Television sets come in many different screen sizes, from just a few inches to fit on a small desk, right up to the ones that resemble something you might find in a cinema.
And there it was, one of my full English lessons, and there are many of my lessons on my YouTube channel. A lot of people do forget that over the past 15 years I've been making English lessons almost non-stop, and everything is free. Don't forget that. Oh,
Hello.
that's interesting.
That was a bit unexpected, Mr. Duncan.
We suddenly appeared.
We suddenly appeared. I'm conscious the microphone's a long way away from me.
Don't worry.
Do I need to shout?
No.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm whispering because I don't want to upset the neighbours.
No, don't worry.
Hello, Mr. Duncan.
Hello, Mr. Steve.
Oh, it's great to be here. We're outside today. That's even more exciting.
Do you want some applause?
Go on.
Yes.
Oh, that sheep over there really appreciates me being on the live stream.
Yes, and to be honest with you, I appreciate the sheep. Some of them are very, very attractive, I have to say.
They're noisy.
They're noisy, but very, very attractive.
Pardon?
What?
Are you
Nothing?
Welsh?
Nothing?
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm glad we don't sleep at the back of the house, because if we did, and it's hot weather,
Yeah.
we'd have to have the windows open, which we have, and the sounds of the sheep would be waking us up in the early hours of the morning because they are very noisy at times.
You've just reminded me of something. This morning, can you believe it? This morning, I was actually woken up by my neighbour's cockerel. It's such a cliche when you think about the countryside. When you think about the countryside, you always think about animals, sheep, cows, and maybe also the sound of the cockerel in the morning. And this actually happened this morning. I was woken up by the sound of the cockerel. In fact, we have one, don't we, here? So this is what I woke up to this morning.
I know. What time was that, Mr. Duncan?
It was about 4:30.
You must have been a very light sleeper last night.
Well, I don't know about that, but it was crowing for ages. It wouldn't stop, so it kept doing it for a very long time. I was getting rather annoyed, to be honest. So I was woken up by my neighbour's cockerel.
There's always a first time for something like that. I want to say hello to Mary Fur,
Okay.
who's from Canada, and I wonder if she's spotted. If you're still watching, I hope you are. that this is a hat made in Canada.
Oh,
I've mentioned it on many times before.
it always sounds like there's a commercial here. Can I just say, we're not sponsored by the makers of Mr. Steve's hat. I wish we were. We don't have any sponsors. Can you believe it? We've never had sponsors.
No, it's
On-
about time.
No, I don't want them, because everyone has them now. There's nothing more frustrating than watching a YouTube video and then the person says, "Before we begin, let's say a big thank you to our sponsor." And then they talk for ages about some bit of software or something that you're never going to buy.
It might help the income side of things, though,
Well,
Mr.
it
Duncan.
might, but I think it just annoys the viewers, to be honest. So no products are being placed here, but Mr. Steve's hat has been made in Canada.
Yes,
By the way,
Mary.
something I want to clear up. Literally.
By the way, can I finish the? Can
Is-
I finish what I was saying about?
Is
the
it
hat?
interesting?
No, I was just going to
Oh,
mention
no.
the name Tilly.
Yes.
Tilley.
Okay.
We're not being sponsored by them, but I thought I would mention for Mary and for anyone else in Canada watching.
Yes.
This is a Canadian hat, and it's very well made. So,
Oh.
what were you going to say, Mr. Duncan?
Well, congratulations. So
Well,
yeah.
I just thought I would mention
That's
it.
amazing. It's incredible. You only mention this every time you're in your hat. Every time.
Well, somebody always asks about my hat, so I thought that I would get that out of the way early on in the live stream.
Steve, last week we had a little issue, didn't we? A little problem with Mr. Steve's body. Ooh. Mr. Steve discovered he had some very strange spots on his body, but thanks to the wonders of modern technology, Steve was able to send a photograph of his strange spots. I won't tell you where they are, but I will give you a clue. It was very near to his willy.
Oh, Mr. Duncan,
What?
that is not true at all.
Oh, okay.
One or two were, but most of them were distributed fairly evenly about my torso.
Okay.
Torso.
Yes.
By the way, intelligent, these are ventilation holes in the side of the hat.
They are to keep his brain cool.
And interestingly enough, William, earlier I noticed, asked about the use of the word spot and stain.
Oh.
So yes, you say what you were going to say about my strange spots. Yes. So in this pandemic,
we found out.
we did. Well, that's it.
So Steve sent a photograph. He put his camera phone down his underpants and took a couple of pictures. I don't know why he did that. I think he's starting his OnlyFans channel.
And the doctor. Well, I know you're going to say something rude. So
However,
the doctor said I can't see anything.
the doctor said no. The doctor had a look at your spots and he confirmed what we thought last week.
Measles.
Apparently, it's not herpes. So it's not herpes. You must be pleased about that.
Yes. Well, yes. I mean, it would have been impossible.
So once again, you've dodged the bullet, and but insects.
Insect bites.
How boring!
I know.
How boring is that?
I can't help it. You know, if insects are attracted to me, I mean, you know, everything's attracted to me. So why not insects? It's only to be expected.
All of the dumb animals go after Mr. Steve.
What? You mean? Yes, there's one right next to me now.
Yes. Well,
Yes. So William, if you have a red mark on your skin,
yes.
then yes, you can call that a spot
As a noun,
as a noun. But if you have a mark on your skin which is a discoloration, you could call that a stain, couldn't
yes,
you?
maybe similar to a certain type of pigmentation. So
Yes.
so people normally have one skin color. However, certain parts of your body can also have pigment, different pigment, and these pigments can be described as stains. Also, of course, there is the one that a lot of people recognize, the birthmark as well, can quite often be described as a stain. But yes,
Although usually you would use stain to describe a patch of discoloration
Yes.
in something other than your skin, such
That's
as a carpet, a piece of clothing. So you wouldn't normally use it. I mean, if you were to spill ink on your skin, you would say you had an ink stain. But if it was something medical, you wouldn't normally describe that as a stain. You would usually use the word stain if you had dropped some ink or tomato juice or something into a piece of clothing or a carpet.
Yeah, so something that causes discoloration in a certain area is a stain. Of course, you
Yes.
can have a stain on your character
Yes.
if you've done something bad, if you've done something wrong, if you committed a crime in your life. You might have a stain, something that can't be removed, that makes your character bad.
Yes, that people will remember forever. You did something very bad. At some point, it's never forgotten. It's a stain on your good character.
Can I just say something? There is a spider building a
There
web.
is.
There is a spider building a web on my camera, and it's so distracting because it's right in front of
I
us.
was going to mention the
He-
spider.
He's been doing it. He's actually started making a web on my camera.
It's incredible.
I might have to move that spider on in a few moments.
So
But
yes.
anyway,
And spots, you would normally use that to describe something on your skin. You wouldn't normally, would you just use the word spot to describe something? You could have a little spot of something on a carpet.
yes.
That would be something small.
That's it. So spot quite often is something that's very small, quite often round in shape or circular. So a
Yes.
spot can be very different from a stain. Although you can have a stain that is very small that can be described as a spot. So there is a spot of wine on the carpet.
Yes.
So that just means there's a very small stain, a very tiny stain. So they can be interchangeable, but generally speaking, a stain is a large area of discoloration, and a spot is a small area of discoloration.
Victoria says, I don't get bitten by mosquitoes. Well, I learnt some time ago, somebody told me, an expert
Oh,
in the field of who deals with diseases that are transmitted by mosquitoes.
Ugh.
So, such as malaria, yellow fever, things like that.
Okay.
That mosquitoes will commonly transmit from human to human and to animals. But apparently, if you say you've got a group of people and you're all out on a beach somewhere or walking through the forest, and some people appear to get bitten
yes.
by the mosquitoes and other people don't, I was told by this expert that in fact everyone is being bitten. It's just that only certain people react in the way of getting these red spots when
Ah.
you have a mosquito
So,
bite.
so some people are. It's almost like an allergic reaction.
That's right. So some people, you get the big itchy red spots because that's just the way you react to the insect bite. But other people are being bitten, but they don't realise it because their body doesn't react. So just because you don't get bitten, it could be that your body just doesn't react to the bites. You probably are being bitten, but you don't realise. But that's what I was told by this expert in insect transmissible diseases.
Talking of the body, the human body is an amazing thing. The only problem with having your body is sometimes you forget how amazing it is. You forget how brilliant it is. When you are young, you don't really pay much attention to your body. It's just a thing that's there. It allows you to walk and move and eat and do all sorts of stuff that becomes very interesting and exciting as you get older. But,
Yes.
well there Steve, don't let me lose my train of thought here. But as you get older, your body starts to change. As I mentioned earlier, Mr. Steve's body is unrecognisable.
Pardon?
I don't know what this is now under here. It's like a melted candle. So
Speak for yourself.
but as you get older, Steve,
I'm ripped.
your body does change, doesn't it?
Oh,
and,
yes.
and many people
Some
nowadays
people do. I've heard that.
Okay, many people nowadays are they are deciding to go for plastic surgery.
Oh, I see where you're going.
Yes.
I see where
Oh,
you're going.
Yes, it took me a bit longer to get to the point, but that is the point I'm trying to make. So, okay, Steve, please stop distracting me when I'm trying
Plastic surgery.
Yes. So, have you ever thought of having plastic surgery? So, this is the question, first of all. Would you ever have plastic surgery? Would you ever have surgery, an operation on your body that you don't really need, but you want because you think it will make you more attractive or appear younger? And I think this is a thing that is happening more and more. So, for example, I was looking in one of the local newspapers, and we sometimes get free newspapers and free magazines pushed through our letterbox. And I noticed there was an advert for someone who does cosmetic surgery.
Really?
Yes,
Locally?
around here, near where we live. So there is a person who does this. They will get rid of your wrinkles and your sagging face and all of those lines. You know the worst lines on your face? That I think they can be the ones that appear on your forehead. I always think they are the worst ones. But I've got them. I know I've got them now. I've got some lines on my forehead. So your forehead is the part of your head between your hairline and your eyebrows, your forehead. So it's a very strange thing as you get older. You start to look at yourself in a different way. And I don't know why. Sometimes when I look in the mirror in the morning, I don't recognise the person. I'm looking and I think, is that really me? What's happened? But then another day, I will look in the mirror and I'm quite pleased with what I see. You know, I think, oh, that's not too bad. So it's very strange. But a lot of people now are having things done quite often to their face to make themselves look younger, or maybe something that they are unhappy with, maybe their nose, or maybe the size of their ears.
Ears?
Yes. Yes, people can have their ears altered. Maybe if they're too large, they have them pinned back so they don't stick out.
Oh yes, when I was at school, then there was somebody at school actually whose ears really stuck out, and then for about 6 months he wore something around his head to pin them back, and then they were much flatter afterwards.
Yes. I believe they stitched them. I think they take some of the skin and they stitch it back against your head, and it pulls them back.
Of course, there's two things that continue growing as you get older.
Oh, okay. I know which one it isn't.
Most things shrink as you get older.
Yes, I can definitely.
But two things, well, three things actually I can think of, but certainly two things. One is your ears. They never stop growing, apparently.
Yes.
That's a medical fact.
Have you? Because you often see this with elderly men. I don't know why. It seems more common with men who are over a certain age. Their ears become huge.
That's it.
They're massive. They're like, is it the African or the Indian elephant? It's one of them. So one of them has huge ears. And men, especially men, as they get older, quite often their ears will continue growing. What's the other part?
Your nose, I think, also continues growing.
Yes.
But certainly your ears do.
Yeah.
I know that's a medical fact. And it's not that as you get older, your head's shrinking, so your ears appear to be larger. They actually do carry on growing, apparently.
Yeah, that's amazing. So that's the reason why you often see elderly people with large ears and quite often big tomato noses. I think so.
Well, yes. So yes, I mean, that might be the one thing that gives me away as I get older, because obviously I'm aging incredibly well.
Yes.
I look 30 years younger than I actually am, but my ears may continue growing,
Yes.
and thus may reveal. Actually, the other thing to look at if you want to tell someone's age is their hands.
Yes.
Their hands.
Well, I've
particularly
noticed
the
this.
back of your hand.
Yes, the back of your hand. I've noticed this over time recently. I've noticed it sometimes when I move my hand in a certain way, and as the light is shining on it, it looks really wrinkly.
Craping.
Yes, it looks like
Craping.
it looks like dry paper.
Well, because that's the one part of your body that's very difficult to cover up from the sun. So, I mean, you can wear a hat to protect your face. You can wear, long sleeve shirts when you go out into the sun, because the sun, of course, is aging your skin. But your hands, it's very difficult unless you wear gloves all the time to cover up your hands. So they're always exposed to the sun, to the elements.
Yes.
So they will always age probably more than any other part of your body. So if you look at somebody and you think, oh, how old are they? They look a lot younger than they actually are. Have a look at their hands.
Yes. The
Because
hands
it's very
always.
difficult to disguise.
Yes. Okay, Steve. I think we've got it. The hands always give it away. The hands, the
So
skin.
what do you think of these hands? Huh?
Yes.
20, 25?
The last time I saw this, a hand like this, it was an exhibition of Egyptian relics that were dug up from a tomb.
I can crush rocks with these fingers.
Anyway, wait a moment, Steve. Hold that thought. I believe we had a super chat.
We did.
Did I see a super chat?
You did
Because
indeed.
The thing is, I'm using my very small phone, and I can't really see the live chat very
Petra
clearly.
Saska.
Petra Saska. Thank you very much. Thank
Petra.
you. Yeah, we've got it, Steve. Thank you, Petra. Thank you very much.
20 something.
Thank you very much. That's for Petra Saska. Thank you for your lovely donation. I do appreciate it. And of course, we do everything here for free, don't we?
We do. Well, I do. I certainly do.
Well, I do.
I know what you mean. Some people are watching us and also watching football.
Yes.
Guess who is watching football
Well, I'm going to
at
guess.
the same time as watching us?
I'm going to guess Tomek.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Tomek.
Tomek is the master of multitasking.
Yes.
He's probably also doing 2 or 3 other things at the same time, probably cooking and cleaning the house at the same time.
Okay, Steve, we're coming up to 3 o'clock.
Oh, you know what that means.
Yes, 3 o'clock is coming.
And Pedro's here because he wants all to know about my personal life, and he wants me to show books that I read, perfume that I wear.
Perfume?
You mean by perfume, you mean...
What about the ladies' underwear that you wear sometimes? I don't know why he wears it, and I really don't know why it's edible. I really don't. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. I don't know.
He's joking. He's
Steve,
joking.
Steve, it's 3 o'clock. You know what's coming now? For all those who love their flags, guess what? It's now time to wave your flag in the air. Go on, get it out now. Grab hold of it, both hands, and wave it around. It's time for those flags of the world. I hope you enjoyed that little break there so we could have a drink of water, and I had to go into the field to chase one of the sheep around, one of the very attractive sheep. Very, 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 very attractive.
I don't understand why you're talking a lot about attractive sheep today, Mr. Duncan. You're going to come across as a bit weird.
No, attractive. It's attractive. Something can be attractive.
Yeah, but it's a strange thing to talk about.
I mean, sometimes a tree can be attractive. You just like the look of it. You see? If nothing else. I don't know where your mind is going with that. I have to say.
List of Problems, which is a very, very interesting name. I don't think we've seen List of Problems before.
Hello, List of Problems. Although you might be someone else. You see, pretending to be someone.
Not your birthday, is it?
It's not Partap.
Says that although I'm aging, I have the metabolism of a teenager.
You?
Yes. If you'd seen me yesterday, you wouldn't have made that statement.
You've certainly got the spots.
I was a little lackluster.
Yes.
Lackluster.
Steve was feeling
yesterday.
Slightly lethargic, tired, but that's because he's always doing things. Any other comments?
Yes. Nicola says that she would have plastic surgery, but only if it was necessary, for example, after a car accident.
Yes. So this is something I wanted to mention, actually, because, of course, there are many serious reasons why people have certain types of cosmetic surgery. So certain surgery that has to be done may be things like mastectomies. That's one. If a person has cancer, certain parts of the body can be removed or have to be removed. So there are other reasons. So we are not making fun of this. We're not making fun. This is a serious subject, because sometimes when I look in the mirror, I think to myself, wouldn't it be nice to go somewhere and have one of those James Bond lasers zapped all over my face to get rid of all the lines and wrinkles?
Yes, well, of course, if you're involved in an accident, and then we tend to call that reconstructive surgery.
Yes.
Don't we, rather than cosmetic surgery, because you're doing it because something's happened.
Yes.
Like an accident that has disfigured you in some way, or you need an operation. And it's not cosmetic, you're just restoring things back to how they were. You're reconstructing what was there before,
Yes,
in the best way that you can. Saturino says that remade breasts are cold to the touch.
Oh.
I want to know how you know that.
Well, I can only assume it must be like holding. You know when you go to the fun fair, and you win a goldfish in a little bag, and the goldfish is swimming around and around inside, and you hold it in your hand. I think that might feel the same.
Probably because, yes, it may be. Obviously, there's no blood supply, so maybe once it's been implanted, then it warms up with your body.
I don't know. I think the word we're looking for is silicon.
Yes.
Silicon.
But I know a lot of people that have. It was interesting because we were looking at the life story of an actress that we know quite well, that appears in an episode of Columbo, which we like, Lee Grant.
Yeah, her name is Lee Grant, and she looked amazing in this particular episode of Columbo. We won't talk about her too much.
Thought I was telling the story, but never mind.
Well, I'm trying to do it, but in a slightly quicker way, because we have 7 other things to do between now and 3.
But to cut a long story short,
okay.
Even back in the 70s, you don't realise that people were having, actresses and actors, probably just actresses then, were having facelifts.
Yes.
Even in those days.
Well, I think people like Marilyn Monroe, I think she had a little bit of nipping and tucking here and there.
She said quite freely in an interview, Lee Grant, she had, when she was 30, she had a facelift. So that would have been in the 1950s. They were doing facelifts, and you don't imagine that they were.
No.
So she appeared in this episode of Columbo. She was about 57, and she looked about 30.
Yes.
So it's funny what you discover. So, yeah. Would I? What about you, Mr. Duncan? So,
Well, I think I've already said I sometimes think about it. I think nothing too heavy, because to be honest with you, most of this is pretty perfect. The ears just right, the nose a little small, a little bit like a button, and of course my lovely dimples. You can't do anything to
you
me.
can't get rid of those.
You can't get rid of my dimples. Look at my dimples. You can't remove those, my dimples. So I don't mind. But the wrinkles, I think it's the wrinkles, the little lines, creases and wrinkles. I wish I could have something that would just get rid of those.
It's quite sad that people get those.
Not Botox, nothing like that, but maybe some laser treatment. You've seen James Bond, where he has that laser between his legs and it slowly moves up towards his weapon
Pedro asks,
that he has in his holster.
Pedro asks, am I a cross-dresser?
Well, sometimes you put your underpants on back to front and you can be very cross.
The answer to that question is, would you like me to be? Because
so
I'm
this-
willing to be flexible.
This is the person that said to me a few minutes ago, finding sheep attractive is weird.
Yeah, but Pedro's a human being.
You're not
And so am I.
You're not transitioning, are you?
No, I'm just saying, if it would help, Pedro, then yes. Ordinarily no, but for you, I'm willing to be flexible in that area of cross-dressing.
It's taken me 30 years to get used to this, to be honest. It's taken 30 years for me to become accustomed to this. So please don't change. I don't have enough lifespan to actually get used to anything else.
Mr. Problems thinks that you're cute.
Oh, okay then. Thank you very
It
much.
must be those little dimples.
I've had these dimples since I was a baby, but they used to be somewhere else on my body. They used to be lower down, but now, they're up here. I mean my bum. I'm talking about my bottom.
I wouldn't know.
Okay, Steve.
What's next then, Mr. Duncan?
What's next? Well, we are looking at some words connected to having plastic surgery, you see.
Right.
Yes. So sometimes we describe plastic surgery as cosmetic surgery. And I suppose the reason why we call it that is because it isn't surgery that is necessary. It isn't surgery that is really needed. So I suppose if you had a heart problem, or maybe a problem with your guts, or your eye, or your brain, then you have to have some sort of operation, because you have to. It's necessary. But a lot of people see cosmetic surgery as something that it is not necessary, and it's not needed.
Vanity.
So yes, so cosmetic surgery is probably what a lot of people will call that.
Or plastic surgery, yes.
That's it. Well, we are looking at the other words as well.
Well,
So-
the thing is, there's very few people that don't worry or aren't concerned about their appearance. So, I'm not against, if anyone says that they're going to have plastic surgery, I'm not going to criticise them. Obviously, it can become in some people a bit of an obsession. And when you see people, sometimes we see celebrities, don't we, that have had operation after many, many operations, and they become completely disfigured in their
Yeah.
appearance.
Well, but that's it. That's their self-image. So their self-image is they look great, but to everyone around them, they look like some sort of hideous creature because they've done too much, and it's very addictive. I think
Michael Jackson was a good example of that.
Well, Michael Jackson is a very interesting case because he had problems anyway with his body and his skin. So he kind of did that to change, but also he did other things. And I think you can become addicted to cosmetic surgery, and quite often it is the cause of many people's deaths as well, because too much surgery is never good for you, because every time you have anaesthetic, it is bad for your body.
Pedro's going, he didn't answer the question about, the flexibility of a certain person standing here, or willingness to be a cross-dresser.
Yes. Okay.
Money makes have to exchange hands,
Okay.
however,
What?
in such an exchange of services,
So
if you know what I mean.
Are you selling yourself to Pedro?
Well, I mean, he suggested it.
Oh, apparently England have scored a goal.
Oh, right.
So don't forget we have football.
Who are we playing? I don't even know who we're playing. Is it Croatia?
It is Croatia.
I did know. I did know.
And they're playing at Wembley Stadium today.
Fancy us not knowing. I mean, it's not that I'm not interested.
We did know.
It must have filtered in somewhere while I was watching the news.
Okay.
Have we got anyone from Croatia watching us today?
Well, I would imagine that they might be watching the football match, if they are.
Yes, well, but we'd still like to know. There might be some people who are, Tomek isn't the only multitasker. Maybe somebody is in Croatia, is watching the match and watching us at the same time. If you are, please let us know.
Well, Ina asks, what is a cross-dresser? A cross-dresser is a person, quite often a man, who wears women's clothing. So he feels comfortable in both male clothing and female clothing.
But, if it was to make Pedro feel more attracted towards me,
Well, I've got news for
I
you.
was to wear a dress.
I've got news for you.
What?
Pedro's gone.
I know. Well, no, he's still here, look.
No, Pedro just said I'm going.
Yeah, but he just made a comment.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. That is true, Pedro.
Yes, Steve, England are in the lead, everyone. England.
Not that we care.
Well, no, we might not care, but there are people who are watching us instead of football. And we're just, I can't believe I have to keep explaining these things.
Tomek has obviously made a bet that Croatia will win,
Okay.
because he's just said that Croatia have 25 minutes to equalise, otherwise I will lose my bet. Fancy betting against England.
Well, you don't have to bet on England.
I know,
really.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay, then. Well, why say it?
Well, it's just a humorous comment, Mr. Duncan. It's not meant to be taken seriously.
So, as I mentioned earlier, today's live stream, you might say that this live stream is a load of balls.
What's happening, Mr. Duncan? That was a surprise for me as much as it was for you.
Did you enjoy those balls?
I did, yes.
There were many of them, and they were rather big.
And they were coming from the sky. Well, what was that in? Why did you do that, Mr. Duncan?
Why? Why? You're asking me why we're doing that?
Because of the football, obviously.
Yes. What? Why did you do that? We were talking about football,
JC
and then we
Geordie.
did that. And then you asked why did you do the football thing, Mr. Duncan? Because we were talking about football.
I prefer English instead of watching soccer, says JC Geordie.
That's it.
JC Geordie, I haven't seen your name for a while. That's probably because I've just missed you.
Hey, Steve,
What?
do you remember that time we went into the garden and we decided to have a football match?
Yesterday?
Would you like to see it?
Yes.
Okay, here it comes now. It's time for the big match in our garden. So there is football taking place at Wembley, but also here in our garden as well. I have insects. I have little creatures crawling into my underwear, and they are having quite a party.
I don't think they'll be there for long, Mr. Duncan.
Oh,
That's the trouble of being outside in shorts and gardening.
Yes.
I'm always getting bitten. I don't know whether it's ants, mosquitoes, fleas. I'm still not convinced that those spots that I had were insect bites. I'm still not convinced. I think the doctor was wrong, and I may well have to go and revisit.
Okay,
Mind you, if they come up again, then I'll go back to the doctor.
good. That's good. But I suppose one of the things we have to ask today, because it's very hot, have you gone commando?
Well, these are the shorts I'm wearing at the moment. I would say were swimming shorts.
Okay.
So they've got an inbuilt underpant section,
Oh, I see.
so to speak.
So if you remember
Okay.
last week, I did a live stream and I talked about words connected to go. And go commando was one of them, which means you are wearing no underwear under your clothing. You go commando style. But today you will be pleased to hear that we are both wearing something down there, definitely.
I suppose you could say I've gone commando or commando,
Okay?
because. But the shorts are what the shorts are. If you wear swimming shorts, men will know there's a sort of inner support, shall we say,
Okay.
to
That's good.
those underwear.
Right.
So yes, exactly. Tomek says the level of the game shown in our football in the garden was higher than that shown in the match with Russia.
Yes, well,
last night.
can I just say that Darren Southgate, he called us to sign us up
Yes.
to play for England.
Yeah.
He said, Duncan, he said, you're very good with the shooting. And Steve, he's more of a dribbler.
Well, that's my age. I'm referring to prostate problems, which I haven't got. Some people get that as they get older. I don't, because I eat lots of pumpkin seeds,
What?
which are good for the prostate. I've got to
Okay.
whisper that because, neighbours might hear. It could be an offensive word to some people.
You are saying that the word prostate might be offensive.
Well,
I-
we don't want to keep talking about it, do we?
I don't think anyone in the history of science has ever complained about someone saying prostate. Bless you, Steve.
That's
And that's the reason why. That's the reason why the microphone is far away from Steve.
I used to like playing in goal when I was at school. I didn't like football at school, but I liked being in goal
I used to be one of the
was quite good at it.
I used to be one of the goal posts.
because you were so skinny.
Yes,
when
that's
you were...
that is the joke. Thanks,
Well,
Steve.
Just
Yeah,
thought I would
I'm-
explain it though,
I'm
in
s-
case
no,
people don't know.
I think people understood that.
Because obviously if they look at you now, they will say, "Well, I can't imagine you being skinny when you were younger."
No. Okay.
I might get a thump later.
Well, if it was
If
funny,
you
I
put
would.
up your arm, you see that your entire body was about that thick when you were about
Yeah.
16.
Nothing else about my body is this thick. Trust me.
Right. Okay. So, when are we going to do the sentence game, Mr.
Well,
Duncan?
not yet, because we have some words and phrases connected to the beautiful game. Apparently, that's what they call it. That's why I played that video, you see, 7 minutes ago. That video of us in the garden was leading into football phrases. I just didn't get a chance to do it, you see, because I don't know where you went there with all of that. There, you were going everywhere with that. Football phrases. There it is. Football phrases. So there are many phrases you can use in the game of football. However, Steve, they can be used in other ways as well. For example, here's another word. We are looking at lots of interesting words. Match.
Match.
So when we say match, this can mean two things that come together that are very similar. So two things might be very similar. They will match. They go together. However, we can also have a competition where two people or two groups of people are battling each other in a certain sport. So you can say match, a football match. The match is about to start. The match is about to end. So two things that go together, or some sort of competition that is taking place between two people or a group of people. In this case, a football team. Two football teams are involved in a match.
I've never thought of it like that, Mr. Duncan. So I suppose in a way you are matching two similar groups of people together, aren't you? So,
Yes. So their level of competency.
yes, is matched. So therefore you have a competition to see who is better than the other one. So you assume that they are quite closely matched when you go in. I've always thought of match as being just the competition itself, but maybe it comes from the fact that they are closely matched
Yes.
as they go into the competition.
So normally a contest between two people or two groups of people who have an equal level of competency. Here's another one, game. So we always think of game as maybe a contest, maybe something you are doing in a competition. Game. But of course, game can also be something you are hunting
Yeah.
or something you are searching for with the view to catch it, or you want to kill it.
A game bird,
Yes.
for example.
So game can also be a type of animal that is hunted for a trophy. A lot of people don't like that these days.
Or just, yeah.
To eat. To eat.
Yes, and also match, going back to match. A match is something that you use to start a fire
Yes.
as well.
That's it.
You
Something.
strike a match to light a fire.
Okay. Moving on. We've got to get these out. We've got about 20 of these.
Are you on the game today, Mr. Duncan?
Am I on the
Are you
game?
on your game, rather? Well, there's another two. If you're on your game, it
I'm
means
not-
you're doing on your game. It means you're doing well. If you say you're on the game,
That means you're a prostitute.
yes. So you've got to be careful how you say that phrase.
Can I just say I am definitely not on the game.
You're far too old for that.
Here we go, Steve.
You are on your game because you're doing well with the live stream today.
Very good. Team.
I've got to explain these things, Mr. Duncan.
Team. So we have a team, a group of people who are often either competing or working together. So quite often we will see the word team to mean a group of people working together. Quite often in the workplace, you will have a
Yes.
team, or maybe people who are carrying out a certain task. Perhaps a group of workmen who are working in a certain place. You describe them as a team. So team, a group of people working, or I suppose playing together.
Working together for a common goal.
Yes.
And the idea is that a group of people that they will do better than the individuals could do on their own. That's the idea behind teamwork, isn't it? I mean, teamwork is what we talk about all the time at work. At our work, they're obsessed with teams and everybody being very teamy because they think that if everyone's getting on, then it means everyone works together and the end result in sales will be higher if everyone works as a team, which I suppose is true. But we're always doing team exercises to help us gel together
Okay.
and be better than another team and thus get higher sales.
Here's another one, Steve. Pitch.
Pitch.
Pitch. So quite often the area or the place where a match will take place. Quite often games such as rugby, football, they are often played on a pitch, an area of land that has been normally segregated or put aside for some games to be played on, hence the word pitch. So quite often we use the word pitch to mean an area that has a certain use.
Football pitch.
Yes,
A cricket pitch.
that's
A
it.
rugby pitch.
Yes.
But you wouldn't say tennis pitch.
No.
you would say a tennis court.
because that is designed differently.
Yes, so it's confusing a bit there. Pitch also is a black substance derived from tar, which you use to cover roofs with, to waterproof them. You can also pitch an idea,
Yes, put forward something.
put forward an idea. Can I pitch you my idea? Can I explain it to you?
Maybe you have a brilliant idea for a movie.
Yes.
And you go along to some movie executives and you put forward your pitch, your idea. You're putting it forward to someone. Pitch.
Yes.
That's good. Here's another one. Player. A player. So this can have more than one meaning as well. A player is a person who participates. They take part in a game or a contest. They are involved in some way, normally in the competition itself. However, a player can also be a slang term for a person who does a certain thing. Maybe if they are going along and maybe pretending to be a businessman, or maybe a person who just gets involved in something for a certain reason. They are a player. Quite often you will describe a man who likes finding new ladies. He goes to the bars on a Friday night and he's searching for another lady, another conquest. We might describe him as a player. He's always there doing that thing. Imagine a person at a casino, always playing the game. So that is a player, a person who is involved in something, or they do something quite often.
Football player,
Yes?
tennis player.
Yes?
Next word, Mr. Duncan.
Here's a good one. Oh, this one. Now, this one is the one that most people shout and normally use very rude words.
Do they?
The referee. Referee. A lot of people get very angry when the referee makes a decision. So the person who is making sure that all of the rules are followed, Steve, is a referee.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
That's right. And sometimes, of course, if they're not in the right position, particularly in football, well, in any game really, tennis as well, the referee could misinterpret or not quite see what's going on properly and may make an incorrect decision. But of course, these days, with TV and fast replay, quite often the referees are plugged into some system or somebody who will tell them very quickly whether they were making the right decision or not. So you don't tend to see many wrong decisions these days. There's been a lot of famous ones in the past where referees have made incorrect decisions about handball in football, for example.
Yes.
There's been one or two classic examples of that. And in tennis, of course, quite often the referee would say the ball was out, and then when you see the replay, it actually did hit the line, so it wasn't out at all. And John McEnroe was famous, wasn't he, in objecting to referees' decisions
Yes.
very vocally.
So a lot of people get very angry at this particular person because sometimes their decisions will actually change the whole game.
Yes.
Quite often because they didn't see something, but also because quite often they make a decision that changes the game. So the referee quite often will get a lot of criticism or maybe even abuse. Ooh.
We don't tend. Somebody asked, do we use the word judge instead of referee in football?
No.
Not really. You
No.
might do. Well, we don't in the UK anyway.
Well, we don't. They don't in the US either. That is
No.
also a referee.
Somebody did ask earlier, Mosen asked, what's the difference between football and soccer? And football, of course, is the game that you're watching at the moment. If you're watching it, whereas soccer is American football,
Well,
which is different rules. Really,
that's
isn't
it. Well, the rules are basically the same. It's just another word for football.
Yes,
So
I was
soccer
thinking
is
specifically about American football, which is a different game. Or it's more like rugby, isn't it?
well, American football is called American football,
Yes.
but soccer in the United States is just our football.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it's the same game.
I stand corrected.
Yes, soccer is just football. But
I think we need a referee to decide who is correct, Mr. Duncan.
But soccer will then make sure it's not confused with American football, which is the one where they run around with the ball under their arm. So there is a big difference between those two things. However, in British English, we say football, and in American English, they say soccer. So I hope that clears that one up.
I stand corrected, Mr. Duncan.
I feel as if I've just explained this to Steve as well.
You have. In tennis, the referee is called an umpire,
Yes.
says Lewis. That is correct.
Yes.
And I think you have umpires in other sports
Cricket.
as well. Cricket, you have an umpire.
Yes. It is just a referee, to be honest.
It's just a referee,
Yes. So the person who keeps an eye on the game, they are making sure that the game is being played fairly and all of the rules are being followed.
Yes, I don't know why they're not called referees as well, but we just tend to use the word umpire for cricket and for tennis.
Here's another
There
one.
may be other examples.
League. Again, a very interesting word that can be used in more than one way. We think of league when we think of a group of things that are put together in a certain position or place. So maybe you have a league of football teams and they are all performing in certain levels. So maybe you have one particular league for a certain level of performance.
Yes.
And then you have another league for another level of performance. So league. And also, quite often you can use this as a measurement as well.
You can.
When you are going underwater, you are going down. Boo, boo, boo,
Although that's fathoms as well, isn't it?
boo. Yes, quite often they use fathoms, but you can use leagues as well. It is a measurement. Here's another one, Steve. Oh, this is sometimes I get very tempted to do this to Mr. Steve. Kick. Kick. Kick.
Kick.
Kick. Well, in football, of course, a lot of people will kick the ball. Sometimes they will kick each other. Sometimes the fans will also kick each other. Don't do that, by the way. It's very, very naughty. Kick. But also it can mean to stop doing something. To try and stop doing something. So you kick the habit. You kick a habit. Something you want to stop doing. Kick. You kick something. Or, of course, thrill as well. You get pleasure from something. You get a kick from champagne. You get a kick from cocaine. That sounds like a song. It
That
is
is a song. Yes.
What song is that?
You can get a kick out of a person. I get a kick out of you.
I get a kick
I get a
out
kick.
of you. Kick.
Yes, interestingly, going back to league, Vittoria and Tomek use that phrase "out of my league,"
Ah.
or which you usually describe as, for example, if you were trying to date a particular lady, the man was particular, or the other way round, and that person was from a very high class, maybe extremely beautiful, far more beautiful than you were handsome. Somebody might say that, oh, don't bother asking her out. She's out of your league. In other words, you're not in the same. You couldn't compete. You need that woman needs somebody of a much higher caliber than you.
Yes. Or
or-
she's much better than you.
Yes,
She's too good for you.
too good.
She's too good. I'm sorry. You have to keep your demands low. Because
Yes.
if you are not very attractive, you might be rich though, of course.
Well, in which case, attractiveness goes out of the window.
Yeah, you don't need to be attractive if you've got lots of money.
Exactly.
I mean-
many people are attracted to
Yeah.
wealthy men.
Yeah. Look at Bill Gates.
He might have something else
Yes.
that he's got going for him. But yes,
What a big hard drive.
probably. Yes.
Okay.
Nice one, Mr. Duncan. Very quick. Yes, if someone's, for example, it's very difficult to find somebody who can match up to this, incredibly handsome, intelligent sort of person. Most people would be well out of my league.
Okay.
Just as an example.
I'm not sure where that leaves me.
I don't think. I think the same would apply to Tomek.
Okay,
actually.
Steve, can we move on with some more? Because we've only got...
Go on then.
Pass.
Pass.
So if you pass something...
Or pass.
Okay, Steve, if you pass something...
Or pass. I'm just explaining the different ways of pronouncing that word.
Yes, you've done it. You've done it 3 times. If you
Pass.
pass something, it means you are what? What are you doing, Steve?
Well, exactly what the word suggested. You are taking something that you have and giving it to somebody else.
Yes, to hand something over. You might transfer something from yourself to another person. You pass something on. You pass the ball. You kick the ball towards another teammate, or maybe you kick it across the field to someone else. You pass the ball.
Mr. Duncan, can you pass me a tissue, please? Thank you.
I don't know why Steve needs a tissue, but
Well, Mr. Duncan, I was just using that
I
to
think...
explain the word pass.
Oh, I see. So,
Or
but
pass.
but also, if you reject something as well, if you reject something, you can pass on that thing. It means you reject it. So someone makes an offer to you, and you say, "I am going to pass on that. I'm going to pass."
Yes.
It means I don't want it. I am rejecting it. Ooh. This is Steve's word. This describes Mr. Steve when he falls asleep. Mr. Steve will often dribble down his face. He will have lots of saliva and spit all running down his face and down his clothing. He will get very wet with his dribble. But of course in football, if you dribble, what are you doing?
You're just sort of, you're passing the ball slowly. You're
Yes.
sort of, kicking it small distances.
Yes, just you are moving whilst kicking the ball. So it's actually movement. If you dribble, you are both moving and kicking the ball at the same time as you go along. You dribble. But of course, if something is dripping as well, dripping liquid, you might dribble.
Yeah, Sean says, why did I pronounce pass as pass,
Oh.
whereas Mr. Duncan says pass? It's just that you can pronounce it in 2 different ways.
Yes.
have a-
Steve pronounces it with the open A.
Pass.
Pass.
Which is, in the UK, considered to be a posh way
Right.
of saying that word.
And I say it path with sharp A. So the A is like ant.
Whereas it's R as in arse.
Yes. Okay. That's good.
Pass me a tissue. And you would say, pass me a tissue. Either is fine, but if you want to sound sophisticated, upper class, then you've got to say pass.
Have you heard that Bill Gates is getting a divorce?
Yes, you told me
Do you know
yesterday.
why?
Is something to do with his floppy disk? No?
Very good. He has a floppy disk.
Was that going to be what you were going to say?
That's my punchline. Thank you, Steve.
Well, I'm not just a pretty face, Mr. Duncan.
You certainly are not. Score. Steve?
Yes.
Score. So if you score, it means you gain a point. You do something that gives you a point, something that allows you to gain a point. You score. You might score a goal. You might score some points in a quiz. Score.
Or if you were to be successful in picking up somebody from a bar
Yes.
and, having an interesting evening together, you could say that you've scored.
Yes.
Oh, look, I've got a spider coming off my hat.
Okay.
The spiders
It looks
everywhere.
as if you've scored, Steve,
I've scored, yes.
with an insect.
If you score, it means that you pick up somebody and end up.
Okay, Steve. You always have
Sex.
to. You always have to go all the way,
That's it.
which
Of course means
yes.
having
Okay,
sex.
okay, Steve. All right.
Right. Oh,
We
going
have
back
we
to,
have lots of young people watching today. Score.
well, they've got to learn, haven't they?
Yeah, not from you though.
Going back to kick, we've got kick the bucket, which
Kick-
of course means
Die.
die. Kick the bucket.
If you kick the bucket, it means you die.
And
You-
Nitram has a very good suggestion to why Bill Gates is divorcing Microsoft,
yes,
meaning
that's a bit like my floppy disk, really, isn't it?
it's a similar thing.
Very
but,
similar.
Micro means small, something small and soft. We'll leave that to your imagination without spelling it out.
We have to have the sentence game now, Steve.
Score means result as well,
Yes,
says Fatty.
that's it. So you score a goal, and also the result of the game is score. By the way, what is the score at the moment?
It's 1-0 still.
So England are still in the lead. Ooh.
Another meaning of score, according to Tomic, is to obtain illegal drugs.
Yes, of course. If you find
Thank
something, yes, you're looking for something. So it's not necessarily to do with illegal drugs, but it is if you find something or get something. Very similar to what you just said.
Well, maybe that is true, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is true. But maybe also what you just said.
What?
When you go to a bar and
Yes.
you find a woman to
Or
you
the other way
score.
around. Yeah.
You found someone. So to find something that you are searching for, you score.
But I think you can say, do you want to score? I think it means do you want drugs?
Yes,
I think it directly does mean that. Yes.
that's it.
And not that I would know, of course.
Clearly not.
Being clean living gentlemen, as we are.
Okay, speak for yourself.
So, let's see if we can distract people away from the game sufficiently to do the sentence game.
Well, I can't believe Darren Southgate. I keep saying Darren, it's Gareth. It's
That
Gareth.
shows-
Why do I keep saying Darren Southgate? Gareth Southgate. He didn't put any of his best men on today at the start of the match. A lot of people on Twitter this morning were getting so angry. They were saying, I can't believe it. I can't believe that Southgate hasn't put them on. He hasn't put his best players on. Well, it would appear that he doesn't need to. It would appear. Maybe. Here we go then. Would you like to play the sentence game?
I might as well, I'm here.
I've just noticed that the sun is starting to come round, you see. So in a few moments we are going to be burnt alive by the sunlight.
Getting a bit bright in here, Mr.
Yes.
Duncan, but you have thankfully shaded us quite well from the sun.
We are under the gazebo today. Here it comes then, what you've all been waiting for. We are talking about sports, different types of sport. And this is the sentence game. I don't have my echo, I'm afraid. So we are back with the sentence game.
Adele lives in the mountains near Rio de Janeiro. That sounds so romantic.
Yeah, well, it sounds like maybe you have some very stunning scenery.
Exactly.
I think so.
Send us a picture. Right.
Oh, yes, that's a good idea.
Yes, and we'll show it next week.
Yes.
Sentence game, and the theme is sport, did you say, or football?
Sport in
Sport
general.
In general.
But there might be some football in there. I'm not saying if there is or not, but there might be. There might be some, you see.
I would say that the match is due to finish pretty much when we are due to finish.
Oh, okay.
Because somebody mentioned earlier that there was only, I think it was, yes, how much time is left in the match now? Please let us know.
Yes. So the football match, Wembley Stadium, England playing Croatia. And we don't really have any interest in football, but we thought we would mention it because it's the only way of keeping your attention.
And I've just thought there's no way we're going to be disturbing any neighbours today because they're all inside watching the football match.
It's great.
So it's perfect time to be outside. There's
Yes.
nobody's cutting their grass, chopping down trees, cutting hedges,
Two-
using petrol-powered tools.
2 minutes.
2 minutes to what?
Well, the end of the match.
Oh, is that all? Right, okay then.
The thing we're talking about.
So, okay then. So, Tomek's going to be torn between taking part in the sentence game and watching the match. Quick, put it up, Mr. Duncan.
I know what's more
And then
exciting.
he might miss a goal from Croatia.
I know what's more exciting. It's this. We are going to play the sentence game. Coming up on your screen now, you're going to see a sentence, and there are some words missing from the sentence. All you have to do is tell me what the missing words are.
And this, of course, is a game.
It is a game,
Yes.
and we have sport words. So here's the first one. It's a short one. It's not very long, so you should be used to that. Here we go then. There is no something in something. So this is a well-known expression.
It is.
Yes. So if you are in a group of people and you are supposed to work together, and maybe one person thinks that everyone else should follow them.
It's all over. And I'm not referring to the match. I'm referring to this part of the sentence game because Tomek clearly can watch the match and do this at the same time.
Wow. Yes, we have three.
We've got three who've obviously done it all at the same time.
Miura, Intelligent, and also Vittoria. There is, well, I suppose we should have the Mr. Cockerel. This is who woke me up this morning in bed. I was in bed having the most amazing dream. I was in a field with lots and lots of sheep, and they were all chasing me around. And I love the fact, Steve, that the lambs are getting very excited. I think they want to join in.
What's the answer? Come on, Mr. Duncan, faster.
Oh, yes. The answer is... Bing bong!
That is correct. So Tomek was first. I'm going to keep some scores today.
Okay.
Some scores.
Scores.
Because let's turn this into a match today, shall
Wow.
we? The sentence game is now a match. So until 4 o'clock,
Yes. Well,
this is a
actually,
competition.
it's going to be about 4:05 because I started a little late today. So yes, we've
Right.
got about another 15 minutes.
So let's turn this into a match, a competition. So you get 5 points if you get it first.
Okay. I want to explain what this means, by the way.
Because I just thought we'd have a bit of fun. You get, if you're second, I'm going to give marks for first, second, and third because sometimes it's difficult. So if you're second, you're going to get 3 points, and if you're third, you're going to get 1 point.
This sounds very complicated.
So Tomek already has 5 points. Mora, just doing this. I'm the umpire here.
The most
Mora
important...
has 3
Steve,
points.
this
Yes.
this is like a big dead weight.
I know what I'm just. An Intelligent has.
Well done, England. England have won, by the way. England have
Hooray!
won. Hooray! Well done. Hooray! Hooray! England have won the football. Is that it? Is
Good,
it?
but I suppose I'm pleased. I am. You know. I live in England, so why shouldn't I be pleased?
Poor old Tomek has just lost €100.
Well, you could have given it to us.
Never gamble.
€100. That's an awful lot of money.
I can't believe it. Never gamble.
Who have you lost it to? Why didn't you bet with us?
Yes.
And then Mr. Duncan would have some money in his bank.
Yes.
You could have donated that money towards Mr. Duncan's live English lesson, and he would have been very happy.
I would have. A lot happier than Tomek at the moment. A lot happier than he is. There is no I in team. We often say this when a person in a team is being too controlling, or maybe they want to have all of the attention. So they always say, look, remember, there is no I in team. And by that, it means there is no individual person within that group. Everyone is equal. So I like that. I think that's a nice expression, actually. I love that one. I can hear the baby robin being fed just next to us. Here we go, Steve, another one. Let's have another sentence game. Oh, I like this. Oh, we've got 4 missing words, Steve. 4 missing words.
We only need to something, one more something, and we will be something to the something.
Yes. So this might.
Ooh.
This.
I've just burped
Oh,
uncontrollably,
what
Mr.
have,
Duncan.
what have you been eating? There is some horrible gas coming out of Mr. Steve's mouth.
Well, before we came on live, before I came on live, it's blown away, Mr. Duncan. I had some yoghurt
I think it's
with
you.
prunes, yoghurt and prunes with some damson jam in.
That's disgusting.
I know, but I think it's quite healthy. And anyway, I need it to,
Okay, Steve.
expel
We
the waste.
we
from
do
my
not
body.
want to know about your poop. We do not want to know about it. We only need to something, one more something, and we will be something to the something. This is related to football. This is related to football. Oh, what?
People are very quick today.
Very
But
good.
I think we have Jimmy is now come into the running, I believe. Yes, look at that.
Jimmy from Hong Kong.
I think you will find, Mr. Duncan, that could be a correct answer.
Yes, that looks like it's the correct answer. So Jimmy, what does Jimmy get?
5 points.
5?
According to my scoring system.
Okay, not 3.
No, because 3 is for second place, which Mora has got.
So Miura has
Mora
3
gets
points.
3. And Intelligent gets another point.
Okay, you do realise it takes quite a while for you to do this.
I know it's quite... Well, you can
a
carry on.
We need a computer.
Well, you could be putting the answer up while I'm doing the scoring.
You need a computer.
We need to work as a team here, Mr. Duncan.
Okay. Talking of working as a team, here is a member of our team who likes to pop up from time to time.
Mr. Cockerell.
It's Mr. Cockerell. Hello to you. See, I can't say cock because the reason is when YouTube generates the subtitles, it actually leaves the word out. It just has a blank space.
That might be maybe why... Oh, by the way, can we just say, if you haven't already clicked the like button, please do it for Mr. Duncan, because that will mean that his channel will get seen
Yes.
far and wide. If you don't do that, it restricts where Mr. Duncan gets seen.
Yes.
So it's very important for the algorithms on YouTube.
Yes.
So we think.
Yes. So please give me a like, give me a thumb, a nice happy thumb.
If you've liked anything today,
Anything. If anything today has been amusing or interesting, maybe something Mr. Steve said, I know it's unlikely, but just in case, a nugget of information from Steve made you smile, or maybe you learnt something new, please give us a like.
don't forget,
Yes,
it's very important.
that's it.
And whenever you watch any of Mr. Duncan's videos, please like them. I always do that. If I'm watching somebody's video on YouTube, and I do watch a lot of videos on YouTube,
He does.
then I always do the like button, because somebody's made a lot of effort to put that video on. So, we ask people to do it to you, so I always do it to other people.
Okay. Wow.
Right, what's the answer, Mr.
You've just
Duncan?
explained something that didn't actually need explaining.
Well, anyway.
Anyway.
Answer, because we need at least 4 of these for it to be fair today, I think.
Okay. The answer to the sentence game is bing. Oh.
There we go.
We need to score 1 more goal
So, Jimmy, yes.
and we will be through to the final. The final. So that is the last match. Although at the moment with Euro 2020, we are a long way from the final. And by the way, yes, I didn't make a mistake there. It is Euro 2020, which is very confusing because it's 2021.
Right.
Yeah, I had a shock the other day. I thought maybe I had gone back in time and it was 2020 again. What a horrible nightmare.
JC Georgie wants to know if rooster is the same as cockerel.
Cockerel and rooster are the same. They are both the same. Sometimes it is a cockerel and sometimes it is a rooster. But they both do the same thing.
That's it. So yes, I don't know when you would use one instead of the other, but we tend to say cockerel in the UK.
Yes. I think it all comes down to American English and British English
It
again.
could be.
Okay, one more. I think we squeeze one more or maybe two.
Oh yes, well, people are liking the competition element
Oh,
that
okay.
I have introduced.
Well, you might be the only one.
Well, after this one, I'll say who's in the lead.
Yes. I bet you can't wait. Something something is a very something sport.
Right.
Although I have a horrible
Something is a very
feeling.
Something sport.
I have a horrible feeling that. Oh no, that's right. That's right. Don't worry.
But you've made a mistake there, Mr. Duncan.
For a moment, I thought I had made a balls up. Oh, you see,
A
balls.
football's up.
Yes. So balls can be used to mean mistake. If you make an error, you make a balls up. You make a balls up. And if something is a load of balls, it means it's rubbish.
Yes.
It's something that's nonsense and not worth wasting your time with. A bit like this, really.
And I think in that context, balls is short for something else.
Yes, anyway.
But we won't.
Anyway. So, any answers yet on our contest?
Not yet.
Something something
yet.
something is a very something sport. 12 letters, 6 letters, and you know.
Oh,
Although yes,
wow.
I'm going to be so embarrassed if I spelt that wrong.
I don't think you have.
Okay.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, I think you've done it correctly, in which
That's
case
good.
we have a winner. But I'm doing first, second and third places, so... well, Mr. Duncan,
Oh, yes.
we've got answers already, so I don't think we need to wait any longer for your answer.
Okay.
Mr. Cockerell needs to appear.
Where is Mr. Cockerell? Come on, Mr. Cockerell. I think he's very hot. He's getting very hot and sweaty. There's nothing worse than
All right, Mr. Duncan, we don't want to get rude.
there's nothing
We're
worse
quite
than
clean so far.
There's nothing worse than a hot, sweaty one of those.
Disgusting.
No, I didn't say anything. I didn't.
Faster,
Say,
Mr. Duncan,
I did not say anything rude.
because I think we may well have a situation here where one more game could produce an overall winner.
Here we go then. Ooh.
Yes, there we go. So,
Professional tennis is a very competitive sport. So yes, when we talk about things being competitive, it might be in the sense of being cutthroat or something that everyone involved in that thing is trying to be first or trying to win. And quite often they will do anything. They will do anything. They will play as hard as they can. They will play as fast as they can. So professional tennis is a very competitive sport.
that's 11 letters, the last one, isn't it?
I hope so.
Well, in that case, Jimmy
Yes.
has come up with the word challenging
Yes,
as
it
an
is.
alternative.
Oh, okay. Yes, challenging.
Challenging.
No, that's very good.
I'm giving you a bonus point for that,
yes,
Jimmy.
a bonus point.
You're getting a bonus point.
You get an extra point because, and this is good, we're making these rules up as we go along, because you came up with a word that fits in to that space. So very good.
But Victoria has used complicated.
Complicated. We don't
No.
normally describe a sport as complicated.
Tennis is chess is complicated.
Yes.
Yes, the word fits, but I think in this situation, as umpires and referees, I
Okay.
think we would. I'm sorry, no bonus point for that one.
No.
Not today.
No, not today.
It fits, but it doesn't really. It's an 11-letter word that fits, but probably not in context
No.
of this particular. So, but
We,
I
we
will
have,
give a
we
bonus
have to be
point to
very
Jimmy.
we have to be very fussy. You see, we have to be very very fussy and very precise.
I don't think you would describe tennis as... Well, I suppose the scoring's complicated.
Yes.
Oh,
But
do you know? I mean, I'm feeling in a generous mood. So, yes, I'm going to give Vittoria a bonus point.
I can't believe Steve has only just made this up and already he's bending the rules.
Well, there's got to be flexibility here, and Vittoria came up with a word that fitted. And some people do find the scoring of tennis complicated. So I'm going to... Yes, you're getting a point.
Okay.
Victoria. So you're in a... Right, so let's add them up. Shall I say where we are so far?
Oh, I can hardly wait.
Before the last one.
Whilst
adding
you're
that.
doing this, you can, I don't know, pick your toenails or find something to do.
Right, so here we go.
Clean your carpet.
In the lead at the moment, we have Maura on 11 points. Jimmy and Tomek are both equal second with 6 points. And Vittoria has 1 point. Oh, sorry, Intelligent has 5 points.
Mm-hmm.
So, in effect, yes, it's still all to play for.
Yes, so we have one
It's
more.
one more. If a certain person, a couple of people here could get 5 points and another person could get nothing, and there could be a draw, in which case we'd need to go to another one. So, right, yes,
Well,
it all hangs in the balance here.
We can't go to another one.
We could go on all night.
We've only got one more.
Oh, well, in that case, we've only got one more.
Okay, Steve, please, for the love of everything that's pure and holy, please let us carry on. Here we go.
Right, here's the last one.
The something did not see the something. We were something of our something. This is very hard, by the way. So this will really sort the men out from the boys.
So
Please don't complain about that. I know it's gender specific, but that is an old expression. So I suppose I should also say this will sort the girls out from the women, or I don't know how to do the other ones. We'll leave it there, shall we?
So we're into extra time.
It's extra time.
Extra time now because this is the deciding few minutes
Yes. Wow.
of the sentence game
Yeah.
match. Oh, it's quite exciting. I'm quite excited.
Well, you've got answers already. You're not even looking.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, that's a suggestion.
Yeah. But is it right? Let's have a look. We have yes, it looks like Miura. Miura was first.
Good grief.
Miura is right. Well, how did you do that? How did you do that? How? I don't
Well,
know
in
how.
that case,
Yeah, really good. So yes, we have Miura, then Intelligent.
with a different word, fall instead of foul.
Oh, okay. No. Although that is a good that again. But it isn't. Oh, yes. I might have to be a bit fussy there.
I'm going to give you a bonus point.
Okay. Steve is feeling very
But
generous.
we haven't seen the answer yet. Put the answer up, Mr. Duncan.
Here is the answer. Thank you, Mr. Cockerell.
So actually, yes, go on then.
Oh, you want the answer?
Yes, please, Mr. Duncan, because I'm feeling hungry.
Yes, we have a tea cake and a cup of tea. Bing!
Right.
And also an episode of Columbo. And I hope that it's ransom for a dead man.
So actually, technically, Tomek was second, so he gets 3 points there.
Mm.
And Vittoria was actually third, so gets a point. But I also gave a bonus point to Intelligent for using the word fall, because that does fit, and it sort of works.
Yes. Okay, can I explain this? The referee did not see the foul. So when we say foul in football, it means one player tackles or attacks another person as they are trying to get the ball from them. But they normally cause injury, or maybe the other player will fall down to the ground. Sometimes they pretend, by the way. Sometimes they will just throw themselves down on the ground and pretend like they're acting in a play on the stage.
Apparently we're not pronouncing Mora's name correctly. Is it according to Massimo?
Oh,
But anyway, the results are here. Everyone's hanging on these results.
okay. Can we have the results? Let me just clear the screen
Okay.
so everyone can see our beautiful bodies.
Everyone, of course, has done very, very well. I'll just announce places 1, 2 and 3. First was Mora, 15 points. Well done. Second was Tomek on 9 points.
Okay.
And equal third was Intelligent and Jimmy. And Vittoria had 2 points. So well done to everyone.
Well done to everyone. Can I give you all a round of applause?
Yes.
Well done to everyone for taking part today.
So if it's not Mora, how is it? If it's Italian, how would you pronounce it? Maura? Why are we pronouncing your name correctly, Mora? Please tell us. Please give us the phonetic pronunciation.
Yes.
But there we go. A bit of fun, and thank you all for entering into the spirit of the game.
It was a little bit of fun. Very almost microscopic.
Maybe we won't do it every time because we don't want to turn it in the sentence game into a competition, because it's not. It's a team effort. But just for a bit of fun this week, I decided to put in an element of competition because we've just been watching a football match.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy's giving you a donation.
Thank you, Jimmy in Hong Kong. Thank you very much for your Hong Kong dollars. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Don't forget, everything I do is free. We do this. We don't charge you anything. We don't sponsor any products. Steve wants to. Maybe his hat, you see. But we don't really sponsor anything. So all donations are gladly received, so I can carry on doing this for another 15 years.
Here we go. So with Mora's name, you see, we're learning something here. Of course, in Italian, you pronounce every syllable, don't you? Which I'd forgotten about. So the A and the U are two different sounds. So we have to. I will work that out.
Maora?
It could be. It could be Maora.
Maora.
Depending on how the A and the U are pronounced. So I will look that up. I will put that. In fact, I have a program in my computer which tells me how to pronounce Italian words, because if I'm ever singing an Italian song, I put it into this little computer, and it will this app, and it will tell me how to pronounce it. So I will put your name in, and I will learn how to pronounce it correctly for next week. Lovely to see you all. That bird sounded a bit frightened.
That was a blackbird, and I think he's just having a quiet lie down. I think we gave him a bit of a shock.
Bye to everybody, and I'm going inside to make a cup of tea and a tea cake, and I'll see you in a few minutes, and I will see you all again next Sunday.
It's been a busy one.
It's been very busy. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you have too. If you haven't clicked on the like, please do that for Mr. Duncan. And again, I'll see you next week.
Like.
Are you fading me away, or shall I just sort of disappear?
I'm going to close the door on you, and then it will just be me on my own.
How sad. See you again.
Parting is such sweet sorrow, Mr. Steve, until we meet again. Steve is going now. He's going into the house to make not only a cup of tea, but also he's going to prepare some lovely tea cakes. I hope you have enjoyed today's live stream. I really do. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it has been interesting. I hope to see you on Wednesday. Don't forget, yes, I am back with you on Wednesday. We are live on Wednesday. I'm not sure what the weather is doing, but I will be here on my own. Mr. Steve will be busy working in his hot, sticky office. The poor boy. How will he survive? I don't know. Thanks for your company. Don't forget, if you want to send a donation, don't forget also, you can do it through my PayPal as well. There it is. The address is now on the screen in front of you. If you want to send a small donation or a large one to help my work continue forever and ever and ever. The sheep and the lambs are getting very excited in the field next to me. Thank you very much for your company. It's been lovely being with you for the past 2 hours and 10 minutes. I can't believe it. I've been here for a very long time today. Don't worry, you can watch all of this later. It will be available again, and later on there will be captions later on. So later there will be some captions at the bottom of the screen. Later, not now, but later on. You can watch it all again. That's it. It's time to go. I hope you've enjoyed this live stream from outside in the garden on a beautiful summer's day here in England. And congratulations once again to England for winning the football match today. I will see you on Wednesday. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thank you very much for watching. See you very soon for more of this. If you are an English addict, then you have come to the right place. See you again very soon. And of course, until the next time we meet here on YouTube, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. It's been fun. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Ta-ta for now.